was involved with this project. So I would just ask, if you had some involvement, whether it was as a student, if you were helping to plan, what this could look like in its various different versions, or if you were involved with the implementation, if you want to just raise your hand so we could get an idea and give that group a round of applause. So at the SAC, at the groundbreaking that we had 2 years ago, I talked about love, joy, and pain as it relates to the Student Activity Center. And I kind of had a story. I was a student here, three-time graduate of the university, and I had a story that went along with each one. So how many of you all were here at the groundbreaking? Oh, Aaron, you were here a lot. Okay, so most of you have already heard this, so I'm not going to say that again. All right, I'll tell you later, Nina. There's a great story. There's a lot of good story. So the groundbreaking, but what the point of that, the love, the joy, and the pain is that it was really about relationships. And this building, and this campus, and this community, it's about relationships. And we needed this space so that we could really allow our students to be able to have more of those experiences on campus as we've seen the university grow, and as we've seen the number of students and the student organizations and how that has expanded over the last decade. So in that period of time, we've had over 125% growth in our recognized student organizations, going from about 200 to 450. If you think about the level of engagement that then creates on this campus, it's tremendous. And for some alums, some of us who were here previously, we come back and we're kind of in awe. Right? Doug, Trina, right? We come back, it's like, it's a different place. This isn't the same University of Louisville, and it's wonderful. The amount of students that live on or near the campus. So this student center was really important to being able to provide the students the experience. And I'm so thankful that so many of our student leaders that were involved with this project are back here today, because it wouldn't have happened without our students. And as I transition to talking about students, it'd be hard for me not to think about our new leader here at the University of Louisville, who has really brought that student focus to a higher level than we really had before. And so I am thankful that Dr. Neely Vendaputi is here. She could be a lot of places. She could be out leading major banks. She could be a really successful politician that a lot of people would want to vote for. Let's not start her campaign. We want to keep her here at UofL. She could be working at any number, hundreds of other universities. But she chose the University of Louisville, and since she has come to this campus, I can tell you I have seen her in board meetings, I have seen her in meetings with student government, I have seen her in challenging situations, and what she says publicly and what she does in all those other situations behind the closed doors or in the other challenging situations, it's consistent. She is here and focused on the students and being able to provide a transformative experience for our students here at the University of Louisville. So it is with a great deal of cardinal pride that I welcome to the stage our president, Dr. Neely Vendaputi.
One of these days I'm going to tape this, because then if I'm feeling down, I can listen to it and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how cool I am. So, well, thank you. That was so overly kind, but that's part of the cardinal spirit. You're all incredibly gracious. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. I'm going to keep my remarks very short because I want everybody to go enjoy this space. But alumni, welcome home. Yesterday we had a wonderful celebration of all of our alumni, distinguished alumni, and I told them then that all you Cardinals, that you learn to fly and take wing and soar at this campus, and that we want you that all the time. So today I would like to remind you all that I talk about this mantra of mine for the University of Louisville. Number one, a great place to learn for our students. Number two, a great place to work for our faculty and staff. Number three, a great place to invest for everybody in the community. And that we will do this always, because we believe we can do all of these. Great place to learn, work, and invest because we celebrate diversity, because we foster equity, because we strive for inclusion. These are our values. So the SAC is really all of those personified or embodied. Personified is not right. Embodied in one place, right? Because when you talk about a great place to learn, learning doesn't just happen inside the four walls of a classroom. Learning is what happens when, by serendipity, you meet somebody and you have a conversation, or you spark a friendship, or you say, let's form a study group. You never know where that happens. And this is a place where students can hang out, just watch, look around and see how they occupy the space and make it their own. And learning continues through that. A place where you can break bread with somebody maybe who looks nothing like you. You think you have nothing in common. And you sit down and grab a bite and you discover that there are worlds to explore together. So it's a great place to learn. Makes it a great place to work. Because on the walk back here, so many of the staff and faculty I've seen all through the day today say, I can't wait to go back and see this. And you've all told me stories, how it was a hole in the ground, or there was just grass, and you saw this come up. So it makes it a great place to work for all of us by giving us these flexible options. And it's certainly a great place to invest. Because when we think of our partners, Follett and Aramark, and so many others, we wouldn't be here without that. So it's also a great place to invest. My hope is that this becomes the living room, the front porch, whatever you want to make of it, your favorite room in your home, so that you always come here and hang out and see what's going on, learn more about what is here. I am just so proud. This $40 million rebuild, remodel, new build is extraordinary. I think it makes it among the best places for student activity centers anywhere in the country. And after all, we as Cardinals, we deserve nothing less, right? It's wonderful. I'm so happy. I cannot wait to see where this generation and generations to come, what they will make of this space. So thank you. By the way, alumni, I reminded you, my inauguration is done. So I'm now official, which I'm very happy about. And so I just want to say, please explore the space, stay, catch up with old friends and make some new friends, and no matter what, just remember you're a Cardinal forever, right? And anyone else who's here as a spouse, significant other, friend, I've told you all you're honorary Cardinals, right? So with that, go Cards. Thank you so much.
I mentioned this briefly before, but really this project and the Student Center as a whole, if you go all the way back to when the idea for the Student Center first came around, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our student government leaders. So it's really appropriate to recognize and thank our student government leaders. And our current student government president is going to speak, so I'd like to introduce Jonathan Fuller to the stage to say a few remarks on behalf of the students.
Thank you, Dr. Martis. So, during my time as a student at UofL, I've seen a lot of tremendous improvements on campus for the students here. Improvements that have made learning opportunities, food choices, study spaces, and transportation opportunities more diverse, more accessible, and more transparent for students. This university, from the day I stepped onto campus 3 years ago, has been dedicated to making my experience and that of my peers the best that it can be, and is committed to continuing to improve for the students to come. This fall has been a particularly eventful one marked by some significant new additions to campus. We saw our first semester of classes at the academic building, the introduction of the card cab service to campus. A food pantry is underway, thanks to a collaboration between the RSGA executive team and the Engaged League Serve Board. And today, the numerous additions to the Student Activity Center. I truly envy the students who will get to spend all 4 of their years at UofL with the host of conveniences that the Student Activity Center has to offer. But I am proud to be a part of a university that gives to its students so many options. One of the most important things students take from their time at UofL is their opportunities to connect and share experiences with other students. The Student Activity Center now has different spaces that allow us to host better events for more students. The redesigned multi-purpose room holds over 500 people, and I've already seen it in action this year, hosting career fairs and introducing high schoolers to the departments and resources UofL has to offer during Carmel Preview Day. The new ballroom, the room we're currently in, seats over 1,000 people, which will be be a perfect venue for our student events. We even had our homecoming concert in here last night. To give you some context of what hosting events used to look like before we had the incredible spaces that we do now. When I was a student on the Student Activities Board and helped set up the International Fashion Show, we had to wait until the night before the event, after classes had ended, to somehow convert the cafeteria into a fashion show space. So I know you all remember that the cafeteria used to be part of a multi-purpose room. But the space that we have now is a much better representation of this university and the hard work of its students. In addition to these big meeting spaces, the new additions have helped students organize in smaller settings, for student meetings, for study groups, and to take a break between classes. The Student Activity Center now boasts many meeting spaces with computers, projectors, and microphones, which make them perfect for student organization meetings that used to meet in crowded classrooms and small conference rooms. When I was a freshman, the only real study space we had was the library. Needless to say, it got a little crowded when the entire campus would try to get into one building. But with the Belknap Academic Building, as well as the additions to the Student Activity Center, students now have more options and, more importantly, more space to study. We've already seen a drastic change to students, like Neely mentioned, studying out here in the common space or in the academic space as well. I'd also like to highlight the new Commuter Student Lounge. Commuter students are one of the largest groups on campus, and they can frequently be overlooked. They haven't really had a home base on campus for the past couple of years, but I'm excited to say that with the new addition, there will be a Commuter Student Lounge, a place for them to go to study or hang out between classes and to even heat up their lunch and store their lunches as well. Although as students, we greatly appreciate all of the things I've just mentioned, I think we probably appreciate all of the new food options the most. As a freshman, all I really remember was having a Chick-fil-A Express, a Soup Station, a Wendy's, a Subway, and Cardinal Burger Company. Never forget. So basically, like 6 different sandwich options. Now there are a variety of dining options in the Student Activity Center that fit a variety of diets, whether halal, vegetarian, or vegan. Looking to the future, I think the new space in the Student Activity Center is a positive beacon for prospective Cardinals, starting right from their first campus tour in the new Herman and Hetty Kurz Visitors Room, where they can see that this is a university that invests in its students and is constantly striving to improve. I think I speak for all the students on this campus when I extend my most genuine gratitude to everyone who has made the improvements to the Student Activity Center possible, especially past SGA administrations. In just the 3 years I've been here, campus has changed almost entirely, and I'm excited to see what changes the university will make in the years to come. Thank you.
So we could go around the room and we could thank a lot of people in this room, but we're not going to stop and do that individually for everyone. But I do want to kind of thank some groups of people and to be able to say that. So, and if you kind of just raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. If you're members of the architect team, design consultants, contractors, workers, subcontractors that were part of this, if you all would just kind of raise your hands so we can acknowledge and thank everyone. Our team in Airmark, because this is the student center never really closed, so we're not having a ribbon cutting to reopen it, but we're going to have a ceremonial toast. So as we begin to speak, they're going to go and pass around beverages here, and here at the end of the celebration, we're going to have a toast to the university and to the student center. So just kind of give you a little background. We also want to thank our partners. Dr. Benaputi had mentioned partners, and Aramark and Follett, our partners, really stepped up. No state money is in this facility, and it's largely through partner support that the majority of this funding is provided for this new facility. So we do want to take a second to all join me in thanking them for their financial contributions. It was mentioned before, we have wonderful people who are committed to this campus, and Herman and Hetty Kurz have continually been committed to this campus. And for Jenny Sawyer and her team in admissions, this new admissions space is wonderful in terms of being able to welcome prospective Cardinals and their family. And Tori, we're looking forward to being able to use it at orientation. So we're very thankful to the Kurz family for their generous contribution to this facility. If you all join me in recognizing them. recognize them. And really most important is the members of our Student Government Association. Student government actually started this in 1983, is my understanding, when the fee for the Student Center was first implemented. This building, the original building, opened in 1990, and then they continue to support this facility all this time, SGA has. So they've had a long commitment to that. So if we could have our SGA representatives, if you all just raise your hands and want to acknowledge and thank you all again. So this is a $40 million project. Jonathan did a good job of highlighting a number of the new aspects of this facility. Additionally, Health Promotions in our Peace Center was able to move into this space. They were not in this space before. Actually, if you remember the old annex, that was here, and that building needed to be torn down, I think maybe when I was a sophomore. I don't know. So it was good that we were able to transition some people out of that space into other spaces. So they're here. And our College of Education, Health, Sports Studies, Sciences, the Sport Administration program, the kinesiology, exercise physiology, they moved into some of the old intramural space. So that was something that was a new addition. Of all new campus bookstore, that was part of that early transition. Moving the bookstore to the other side of the building, building the Starbucks. So those are other things that were added into the facilities, along with the offices that have maintained being here, which is athletics and some of the student affairs, student involvement areas, all are in the facility. So overall, this was a $40 million project for the university, and now we have over 422,000 square feet of student activity center space, making this the largest building on campus, which President Benton I would say is appropriate, since the students are our top priority, and this is really for our students. So I thank everyone for their time and attention here today. We are going to have tours towards the end of this, and we have the refreshments and things that are available for people to partake in. An interesting coincidence, or maybe it's just appropriate in this regard, and most people probably won't realize this, it was exactly 5 years ago today that we opened the Student Recreation Center. How many of you all were here for that opening? A lot, right? So it was 5 years ago today, and we have seen how the opening of the Rec Center has really transformed the campus experience. That's around all our residential living environment, and we see, the hundreds of thousands of students who've gone through that building. We've seen a 200% increase in students being involved in our fitness programs. We've seen over a 200% increase in our club sports, the intramural sports. So this is another way that we're improving our campus. Rudy Spencer will remember when he was SGA president, we were thinking about just expanding this building at one point in time and building the rec center onto this building. But we realized that to be able to do that and the cost, it wasn't really going to work. And then in collaboration with SGA, decided, no, what we really need to do is build a rec center and then be able to come through and come back and renovate the Student Activity Center. So within really about a 12-year window, we've been able to kind of plan that, implement the rec center, figure out all the financing, and all that our students were involved with from the beginning to end. So the timeline on that and the connection and the support for students is really important in that regard. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker and our master of the toast here. Tim Moore, for those of you that don't know, the university hired a consultant in the winter of 2007 who was not affiliated with the university to come in and envision what this Student Activity Center could be. And he wrote a long report of all these things that we needed to have in the Student Activity Center. Well, that consultant was Tim Moore, and we ended up hiring him to be able to implement this, and he's been trying in various forms to do that over the last decade. And so Tim, really as much as anybody, probably more than anybody, has put more time and heart and sweat, and he's one of the hardest working people on this campus. And it's 6:30 every day here until 9 or 10. Tim's always here. The lights are on, you probably can count on Tim being here. So I'm very pleased. I want to thank you publicly, Tim, for your commitment.
Thank you, Michael. I have to tell you, at times, I'm not sure that we were going to get this project done. And to quote from somebody else, you can get so confused that You'll start in to race down long wiggly roads at breakneck pace and grind on for miles across weirdest wild spaces. Oh, the places you'll go by Dr. Seuss. And we had some of those twists and turns along in this project along the way, but many people stuck with it. And I have to recognize some people that are right up here next to me on this platform in terms of Dr. Bendaputi and our administration who has shown their support throughout the years for this project. We deeply appreciate that. We couldn't have gotten it done without them. To Dr. Michael Martis, who is committed to making student life better here at the university. And to people like Jonathan Fuller and SGA, who persevered and were determined that we were going to have a renovated and expanded Student Activity Center. We could not have done it without them. It was all everybody's effort along the way. In 1990, the Student Activity Center opened its doors for the first time. And to quote from Dwayne Cox and William Morris's book, the much needed services for the Belknap campus's growing student body was met when this building opened. And so today, we come to the culmination of this project, 820 days of construction. 820 days of construction. Over 925 people worked on this project here. It was no small feat along the way. Building projects begin with ideas. We then enlist architects and engineers to come up with designs that are workable. Contractors, sometimes they disagree with those designs if they're workable or not. The contractors then take and turn those designs into the construction of a building. And these buildings are constructed with a variety of materials. There's metal, glass, concrete, wood, plastic, sheet metal, glass, bricks, and mortar. Buildings have a form and a function, hopefully, that meet the needs of the people that will use it. The SAC is more than a building. It is a place for the campus community to eat, to study, to shop, to socialize, and even sometimes to sleep. The SAC is a place for the Cardinal community to come together to interact formally and informally, to learn from one another through activities and programs. The SAC is a place to meet, to create new ideas, and to hear other ideas. So if you would, and if you're able, please rise and raise your glass. And if you'll join me in a toast to the Swain Student Activity Center to celebrate the start of a new chapter, a place where the campus community can come together, where it is welcomed by all, a place that comes to enrich our common pursuits to be successful for each and every individual here at the University of Louisville. May that place always be the Student Activity Center. Go Cards. Thank you all very much. Please enjoy the reception on each side of the room here, and tours will begin at 3:45 out in the pre-fund. Thank you.